I'm not going to charge you anything for watching this video. In fact, I paid out a lot of money to make this video. And it's all about, as if you didn't know from that very weak, very poor beginning, I've started doing this and I don't know why. The other thing I started and I don't know why was saying, that's what she said. And I didn't even think about it till I just said it. And the only reason I said it, yeah. If we're rambling this early, we got problems. So, okay, what's this about, Al? Well, I didn't need a power bank. And then I saw a power bank. And then I decided I needed the power bank. Do you know why? Because it's so, I'm going to say it, it's really, really sexy. I really, really like it. It's one of those things, you don't need to pay that sort of money, but if it puts a smile on your face, you're going to do it. Well, why does it put a smile on your face? Al, someone said, they said Al, and he said what, and that's become a thing. I'm building up a back catalogue of catchphrases I didn't even know I had in me. That's what she said. Right, here we go. No, seriously, I wanted to tell you about, I'm getting really bored with, I'm gonna lay it on the table. You thought, I'm gonna lay it on the table, I'm getting really, really bored with speakers. But Al, you're a speaker reviewer. I never said I was a speaker reviewer. I just said, I'm Alan Ross. I tagged reviews at the end because I thought it'd be quite funny. And then, you see, I'm doing this all the time. I don't know why. Some things I just do in life anyway, like being really annoying and rambling. Oh! But this thing, honestly, I don't know if there's any psychologists or psychiatrists or psychotherapists out there. Does this mean something? I never used to do it, and now when I sit down, it's like I'm rowing. Am I rowing? No, that would be like that. What's that? I don't even know what that would be. Shadow boxing.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
I didn't need a power bank. I saw on Amazon a power bank. I decided I really needed it. What is it, Al? It's Anker. But you don't, no, we don't do that. Anker is not Sancor. Sancor is a spin-off of Anker. Let's hope it doesn't go the same way, because if you don't know, Sancor sometimes tends to not end well. Right, get to the point, okay? So I had someone come in the other day and he said, this guy's just so annoying. I find it funny that you keep telling me how annoying I am. You've left a comment to tell me that, that helps the algorithm. And I'm not sure what you think is going to happen. If you think I'm going to suddenly cry my eyes out. I mean, yeah, do that sometime. No, I mean, honestly, it doesn't... Stop it. Don't acknowledge the trolls, all right? I won't acknowledge them. Other than to say, it's going to happen more and more clearly. And it's just really weird. So anyway, this power bank, why is this special? Well, you're going to want to know, first of all, how much did you pay for it? I've got the wrong details in front of me and I spotted that immediately. This is the Anker Prime 27,650 milliamp hours. At this point, they do 3 similar ones. One that outputs a total of 130 watts, they say. I'll get to that in a minute. One that outputs a total of 200 watts, and this one, because I've got to go for the biggest bang, 250 watts. Well, it's not really 250 watts. Don't know why they say 250 watts. We'll find out in a minute. Also, I just read it's got a smart app. I forgot all about that. I'm going to have to go and get my phone. I'll be back in 2 secs. So clearly, it's a portable power bank. I've got my phone. I'll put it there for a second. Why? The reason I bought this is very, very simple. It's got information on an LCD screen and it comes with an app. How much is it, Al? You've paid £130. So you're paying not a little bit of money. And the problem is it a big problem? I'm going to tell you, 130 quid for the charger. And I assure you, once you buy that, you decide there's no way you can't buy, which comes separately, the wireless charger. And how much is the wireless charger? I think it was about 65 quid. But they keep flipping and flopping these prices. I know it's gone up. Is that one? Yeah, the charging base, I paid 69 quid. Do you know what it was today? It's 45 quid. If you're wondering, it's normally about the same in dollars. By the way, if you're wondering, most people watch me from the United States, which is weird, because probably you don't understand what I'm talking about half the time. And so this is Bluetooth enabled. But the problem is, you're going to pay 130 quid because you want the latest and greatest. You're going to see all the videos that show you how lovely it sits there magnetically, but if you're in a storm, it's not that stable. And And that much is that. So you're basically talking to, if you buy that, just know you're going to end up spending about 200 quid, or like today, seems to be on a special deal, around 180 quid total, $180. It's not like it's got a million inputs. So let's get this. First of all, you're going to want to know, can I take it on a flight? This is what they call, was it TSA approved. So it's just under that 100 watts, which is the limit. And I've written specs down. 99.5 watt hours. Just by the way, headlines 27,650 milliamp hours, which is made up of 3,958 milliamp hour cells at running at 25.2 volts. So you buy that, you're going to buy that. That's got a total of 3 inputs. That's got a total of 3 inputs. Well, 4. 3 inputs on the side. 4. Now, it's not all good news. I'm going to tell you straight away. I found this slightly flaky. Sometimes when I plug in my USB-C or the USB-A, and I found the USB-A slightly more flaky, it seems to need to be woken up. Let's see what happens now. My W-King X20, it supports power delivery at 60 watts. This will output up to 140 watts, isn't it, per channel? Yeah, up to 140 watts from channel. Just know on all these modern chargers from Anker, channel 1 will be the main one. That'll output the most, and it will change depending on how many you input. So I'm going to put this into number 1. This is the reason I bought it, simply because I can see immediately what it's charging at, which is it worth paying for? For me, it was. And of course, it is a nice chunky, coming in just under that 100 watts. It is practical, but you're going to buy that and probably travel with them both. Showing me 50 watts. It was charging 55 watts before, but obviously it's nearly full now. It's going to slow down, but that's nice. So it shows you there, and if I plug something into the other channel, it will show me that there as well, and all 3 channels. And it will do that in the app, which I'm going to show you quickly. So you're going to need to wake up the Bluetooth. If you press that, well, you've got to press it twice. You've got to press it twice to enable. When the power bank is placed on the charging bay, it cannot output power. Oh, that's good. All right, so let's try that again. Make sure it's in Bluetooth. Press twice to enable Bluetooth, which I've done. It's flashing Bluetooth. And I'm waiting for this to say connected. So now I can go into my app. That's basically app. I mean, it's not like there's a million things you can do with it, but hey, isn't it great? You have that smart functionality, which you don't really need. We didn't have it for 20,000 years. Now we've got it. We can't live without it. So if I plug that into, have you seen? Not showing anything on here, even though I've got it plugged into there, but that's fully charged. That's sodded me up. I plugged it into something that's already fully charged. What else can we plug it into? Let's try the JBL Extremely Priced 4. And here we go again. And I'm going to take that out the back. That's what she said. Okay. Plug it into here. This would be fully charged, and it'd be a complete waste of time as well, is it? So we've woken it up. This is not charging. It's fully charged. I can't believe what's happening. I'm going to find something that needs charging. And when I sat down, it started charging. There was a lag. Do you see it? Maybe it's already charging, it just doesn't come up straight away. But there was a lag. So actually, although I went to get the Bose SoundLink Max priced, the 2 world's most overpriced speakers, just to show you, it now says it's charging at 42 watts. It's just nice to know where it's charging at and get immediately, even just to know you got the right cables. Although the high power cables, well, I only buy high power cables that tell you that they are high power, so we don't get muddled up. This actually supports 240 watts. 240 watts, of course, would have to be power delivery 3.1, which I believe this supports. Is this 3.1? Yeah. So this supports power delivery 3.1. Power delivery 3 would be 100 watts, or was it 140 watts? Yes. Power delivery 3 was 100 watts. Power delivery 3.1. It's only another 0.1. And yeah, it's like another over double, 240 watts. And that's the thing. Do you see? They're saying 250 watts, but 240 watts would be the max anyway. Well, on one channel. So that's telling me it's charging at 36 watts. That's really nice. So just go into the app. If I click on that, it does absolutely nothing. Telling me total. So yeah, get your stats. You can see over time. Channel 1, channel 2 and USB-A power. So yeah, you've got all your stats. First time you get it, you'll be studying that for 2 hours, and then you'll probably never use it again. In terms of the settings, you can change the theme of the device. I just want the one with the most information, which is theme 2. Number of charges available, optimizing charging. So you can have it, which is worth having. It will, so it will only drop to a certain percentage and then increase to a certain percentage, obviously, which will save battery life, but then we could have just had a small battery. Yeah, so some people like it. I just think, we'll screw the battery up anyway and get our money's worth. Same for output. So the recharge on that, and you can do that for output. Change the screen brightness, screen timeout, the port status. Whether you want to input only, input output, mess around with the Bluetooth. When the switch is turned on, the power bank's Bluetooth will automatically broadcast within the specified time range, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It may be really helpful to someone, but it's not something I think most of us will mess about with. Change the device name, the battery health, the serial number. I'm going to get, they've got Anker will be on to me soon. And indeed, you can upgrade the firmware. I had to upgrade it when I first got it. It's now on the best firmware. So that's basically that. And that's basically it. So sorry, I really like that. The problem is, you're going to buy that, you're going to buy that. Just to give you the full specs on this. So it's a maximum of 140 watts channel 1, 140 watts channel 2, 65 watts maximum on the USB-A port, if you're only driving one of those ports at a time. 2 ports driven, channel 1 still 140 watts maximum, channel 2 100 watts maximum, so your maximum there would be 240 watts. But 3 ports driven, channel 1 is still 140 watts max, channel 2 drops to 92 watts max, and USB-A will drop to 18 watts. And that is where you get your 250 watts from, with all 3 channels driven, but only channel 1 still outputs at its maximum rate of 140 watts. The other nice thing is you can double charge it. So forget that for a second. If I wanted to quick charge it just from another power bank or power charger, I can use the USB channel 1 and USB-C channel 2. 170 watts total, 2 channels inputted to fast charge this power bank, which means from 0 to 100% would be 39 minutes, they say. So that's the power bank itself. Obviously, you can take this on plane. It is practical, and that's why it's limited to the weight it is. Why is that on the table? Well, just to give you, just in relation to how much this is really outputting, basically a total of 100 watt hours. That's a solar power battery that can be recharged from the mains as well. That's 500 watts. That's 500 watt hours. So that has 5 times the capacity of that. So in terms of size, I think that's pretty fair. The problem is that's 130 quid. I saw that today on sale for 240 quid. I paid just over 300 quid for that, for 500 watt hours, which is 5 times the capacity of that. And it's basically, that is the capacity, because sometimes you can't go exactly by what the capacity is on there. And I've seen this on sale for about 250 quid. So it's not that this is great value in terms of, oh, I just need loads of juice on the move. That's what she said. And it's about all the other functionality and the size and practicality. But if you just want obviously I don't believe it supports bad delivery, but in terms of you want the most juice on the move, it's still something like that is going to be better value. But if you want to fast charge, for instance, your Mac or something like that can support that fast charge, it's really handy. But the reason I bought it, I just like seeing the LCD come on. But then you're going to put it on, it's sold separately, 65 quid, but I saw it down to, I think, like 50 quid. Get me specs out. The 100 watt charging base. So this can charge it up to 170 watts. You put it on here wirelessly. It's going, let's see if I can see. when the power bank is, oh, it's charging, it doesn't like that. You can't do that. What you can't do is put that on charge and think you're still going to output. It actually says when the power bank is placed on the charging base, it cannot output. So don't think you can do that. But what you can do is put it on your charging base. I didn't know I did that. I've got no idea why is he doing that. I just want to see what you're charging at. And it's telling me it's charging at 100 watts. So 170 watts is the maximum you could charge at on its own wireless charger, but obviously it's got those prongs. I think it's a Poco thing in it, connection. It will do 100 watts. And that's, I have to tell you, in the real world, that's really handy. Be able to just plonk it on there each time you want it, because talking about half an hour or something, 45 minutes, it's fully charged from 0. So I actually found myself doing that, just leaving that on. It'll tell me if it's charging. If it's charging, it's flashing, and if it's fully lit, it doesn't need charging, and it's actually saying it's at 98 capacity. So I don't know why. It does trickle charge actually, and there should be a setting in the app. So I won't go to that. I believe there is a setting if you want trickle charge on or trickle charge off. I have found, as I said, a little bit fiddly sometimes. Not enough to be a deal breaker, but there's times when I plug something in, nothing's happened, and I've just had to wake it up, I press it on the side, and it's woken up. I don't know what that's all about. The base itself, obviously, so it's half the price of that. You think, well, I might just get the base, and then later on if I want that, because there are, at this point, 3 different sizes, and I guess there's going to be a whole series of what they call their prime chargers that will use handily the wireless feature of the charger, which itself can output 3, has 3 other outputs for a total of 4. This has a maximum of 100 watts, and that will be out of a channel 1. Channel 2 has a maximum of 30 watts, USB-C, makes no difference, it makes no sense. USB-A 22.5 watts. Just know, obviously, it's as you load up more outputs, it's going to come down. Whereas you'll always get 140 watts out of channel 1 on your power bank. But on the power charger, the maximum will be 100 watts on channel 1, and that will drop to 65 watts if you're also driving channel 2, and that will drop to 45 watts if you're using the wireless charging feature. Oh, there, as you said, Pogo, that's what I thought. It's got a Pogo pin. They also have these headlines of it uses the gallium nitride material as opposed to using silicon, which makes it more efficient and lighter. Actually, is in the stats, it's actually 3 times the bandwidth. Actually, on a Google, it says has a higher electron mobility than silicon, allowing it to handle higher switching frequencies. And I just know it's better, more efficient, more bandwidth, and it's lighter. Although neither of these things are particularly light, I have to tell you. So once you bought both of them, about 200 quid, you still only got a total of 4 USB-C outputs, 2 USB-A outputs. So then you have to think about, well, what do I really need in my life? And then you realise loads of things. And then after you had a good cry, you think about, well, I could buy just a plug-in charger. This is called the 65 watt nano charger. So 65 watts total output cost you 28 quid. 130, 65, 30. So you could get 2 of these for the price of that. So where does that leave you? So this will output a maximum of 65 watts. And don't forget that those outputs will drop really quickly from the 100 watts to 65 watts. So if you're loading up more than one, you've still got the same number of outputs for getting the wireless bit on their nano charger, I think they're calling it, 735 charger, nano 265 watts. You then got the same output. Single port driven, you've got 65 watts channel 1 and 65 watts channel 2, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. And it's 22.5 watts output maximum on USB-A, single port driven. Even with all 3 driven, you'll still get 40 watts out of the channel 1, which is still up there with that power base, isn't it? Which was, I think it dropped to 45 watts. I wish I got my life organised. yeah, and that drops to 45 watts when you want to use the wireless charger. So it's actually in line with that. It's just that you don't have the wireless functionality. But with two of these, you've now got 4 USB-C, 2 USB-A. So if you don't get that, is there any point in getting that? It doesn't make much sense when you can get two of the simple plug-in wall chargers, which will give you 40 watts, well, 65 watts, one channel driven. With all three driven, I can get 12, still get a maximum, obviously, of the 65 watts. But if you've got two of them, you've now got 130 watts of charging power. Do you see? So what I'm saying is, you'll just get, this makes no sense at all. Which they sell standalone. The Anker 100 watt charging base for Anker Prime. So don't get that if you have no intention of using the Pogo functionality and you're going to be getting the Prime power banks, because you're paying well over the odds for it. But if you're going to get these in the future, then you're going to want that. But it makes no sense when you think about what you could do with the same money as you're going to pay for that, and just buy two simple wall plug-in chargers. We've got more output in total. You've got more ports in total. Have I missed anything? What's it? We've got about 5 minutes left. That's not what she said. I'd never say that to me. Right. Have we missed anything out that was of interest? I think it's only the actual Prime charger that supports power delivery 3.1 as opposed to 3.0. I think the others are 3.0. If I was organised, then I wasn't supposed. I just thought I'm going to sit. As I was bored with speakers, I just wanted to sit here anyway and have a ramble, because for me it's good therapy anyway. And as you know, comes as no surprise that a geezer like me needs therapy. So they just know they'll stick IQ on all their ports. That's just their way of saying we know what to switch through, because there's loads of different fast charging protocols. They support Qualcomm, is it 3.0? Yeah, 3.0, and the obviously power delivery 3.1 on here. Power IQ simply, it tells you how they switch. So it's not like there's any other amazing functionality. They just always put IQ. IQ is what I do in the supermarket. I'm desperately looking for something else to say at the moment. I think you basically got it. This is about, it's really nice. There's lots of functionality. It's really, I'm going to say, I think it's really sexy. I really like it. But of course, if you just want a power bank, you're paying well over the odds for it. But don't underestimate the practicality in the real life. When you just leave that sitting there, that just goes on the top. There's no messing about with cables. You know it's always fully charged. You put it off, you put it on. But if you're thinking you can still output everything, all those ports from there, while that's sitting there, you can't. You have to take it off. That's what she said. Someone said, why don't you count that's what she said. Well, the count is not big in this one. No, she didn't say that. She didn't say that at all. Yeah, so I really like that. And why am I doing the video? As I said, I just want to sit here anyway to show you stuff that I really like. I didn't buy it to review it. I bought it to use it. And I like it. Just know they're heavy buggers. So if you're buying it just to stick in the backpack and you've got other stuff going in, it may not even be practical in that sense. But if you're sticking it, oh no, I know it's coming. That's what she said. If you're just sticking it in your main luggage, it's going in the baggage, the main storage area of your aircraft or whatever, then you're laughing. It's got the right capacity, and you'll have loads of fun just making, it's just nice to know you've got the right cables, that the unit you're charging is charging it what they say it does, and that's about it. What can I tell you? That was the end of it. And that is exactly the half an hour I had free. And that's the difference. I've got half an hour free. I can sit here. I'm doing I cannot do that with speakers. A week, and it's getting ridiculous to put it together. I'm not saying I'm giving up speakers. I'm just saying I'm a bit bored and I'd like to do other things. Well, just say, do the bigger speakers. It's the measuring and all that I wouldn't like to do a review without doing, but it's just taking way too much time. Someone said, is that your daily intake of Red Bull? By the way, I'm not sponsored by Red Bull. I'm not sponsored by anybody, which is weird. So I'm doing another Anker product, although I'm a bit when it comes to Soundcore. Anker charges, yeah, basically, although having said that, yeah, it's a little bit finicky. What does finicky mean? It means a little bit temperamental, like, you know, it's going to work on a Monday. Or indeed, no, I don't want to, I'm not getting into the, someone said, well, let's get into the religious stuff, the political stuff. You know, I don't mind being controversial, but I think the channel will go down the toilet. Can it go any further there? I don't know. Does it matter anymore? I don't know. But I like the idea I can just say, right, I'll have a look at that today. And then I just sit here. I'm half an hour. Well, now I'm running late, by a minute. So what I'm going to do now is say, how many watched? So was it on my LED app? I think I've got 600 views, which is obviously, it's not, look, it's a nothing video. I get it. So, but I don't know where the interest is. I don't know. Obviously, it's got to work somehow if there's interest. But mind you, that's 600 people that bothered to have a look, which is, it's not bad. But I think that I get about 5p for that or something. One day I'm going to show, people think anybody on YouTube is like a multi-millionaire. It's pennies what you get. And I might do that video. I've seen that a lot of people do that. They get a lot of views and they actually make money telling people how much money they make. So I might do a video. Yeah, tell me in the comments, do you want to see a video on how little I actually get on these videos? Well, that's been the end of this ramble. I hope to see you in another ramble. I know some of you, I know the ones that will always be there, but the thing is, I think there's probably about a dozen of you that have been there since day one. But there's a lot of people who've fallen by the wayside. You never quite know what happens. A couple of people tell me, oh, they're going through hard times, and then suddenly they're not there at all. You do wonder. What's his name? This boy loves his milk or something. I can't remember. What happened to him? Does anybody know who he is? This boy loves his milk. He was every video. He was bigging me up, and then he said. Then he was gone for a while. Came back. Said, oh, he's had issues. Gone, mate. If you're still watching, just let us know you're all right. So I do take on board the regulars that you get to know and stick in your head. That's what she said. That's the final what she said. But you've just done it again. Ah. All right. Well, I'm going to be doing, I think, more of this in the future if I get a chance. I don't know. I change my mind all the time. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What the was that?
It comes from China.
My speaker's got deep bass, balanced mids, and a bright high.
Yes, mine sounds exactly the same.